Social media, friend or foe in the workplace. The abstract for this talk asked a question, how much Facebook or how much Twittering is too much? So I thought I'd start my 20 minutes with a brief look at some numbers. 27,863, 1,059, and finally the most important number is 26, and it's not 42 as Douglas Adams would like you to believe. 26 is the average number of tweets I've done every day for the 1,059 days I've been on Twitter. That's 1.6 tweets per hour of every day, assuming I have 8 hours sleep a day. But is that too much? Let's have a look at some other figures. Some of our other speakers. Steve Collins has an average of 25 tweets a day. Laurel is only at 17.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Thomas, who we just heard from, is about 14. We have Ross, who has about 3.5 tweets a day. Clayton, that's about 2. And Philip Tusing, who's following me, at about 1. But still, what does that tell us? You know, it doesn't say, is it too much? Is it adding value? And the real question here is, has any of us been sacked because of what we've been doing online? Have we ended up on the front page of the newspaper? Have we, on a negative connotation? But really, what is the impact of that on business? And a lot, as we're all here, from what I know, nobody has been sacked from the people I know who are using these tools that are in the room. So the real thing that it comes down to is judgment. Oh yeah, it's going to get better. So what we've got is judgment. Judgment about what you do online. Now we've been talking, the speakers all talking about, let's all go jump into social networks, let's all get involved in social media. But what you do online stays online. And now let's look at some examples of bad judgment. Why would you think it is good to turn a deep fryer into a spa? Let alone a work deep fryer, jumping into it and then posting the photos on MySpace.
Was that McDonald's?
KFC. And I actually gave that example at a session on social media in the workplace, and the head of HR for Yum Brands was in the room and she didn't know about it. Yum Brands owns KFC, she almost died. Here we go, it's okay to hate your boss, but to call him a total pervy wanker that makes me do shit stuff all day when he's your friend on Facebook, he's not going to do you any favours. We've got Michael and Christy, who are Domino Pizza employees, who ended up getting themselves arrested because of what they did to customer food in the US. With the Queen of the Sky, who decided a few years ago that she'd take a few racy photos of herself in the aeroplane and then publish them on her blog. Her employers weren't very happy. We have Kyle Doyle, an Australian AAPT employee who decided it'd be good to get trashed, announced it on Facebook. His manager was his friend. For many organisations, social media they fear it. And they fear it almost as much as going out of business. And they've taken the head in the sand approach of, if we'll just ignore it, it will all go away. But we've heard that social media isn't part of our future. And take this quote from Dwight Eisenhower. It's never a wise man nor a brave man that lies down on the tracks of history to wait for the train of the future to run over them. So I'd say to you that ignoring social media and just waiting for it, you're probably going to go out of business. So as you start to implement social media or get involved, you might go and do a complete social media strategy, you might create Facebook applications, you might post jobs online. I want you to be like this young girl. Start to experiment, explore, learn about it. But at the same time, remember search engines such as Google, because everything you do online stays online and it's indexed. And Laurel brought up the example of the Cisco Fatty this morning. And by the time she'd realised what she'd done and tried to actually delete it, it was there. And everybody could see it. And so your judgment, the judgment calls you make when you go online, are very, very important. So now let's get down to the workplace issues. This is the boring part. The workplace issues. There are lots and lots of issues. You need to understand them. They're similar, though, to issues that exist today in the workplace. It's just that the technology has changed. And it's a bit like when we got direct dial telephones on desks. As Steve said, it's STD phone calls, email, or the internet. It's the same types of issues that organisations have battled with already. So these 4 bullet points, that's the whole presentation in 4 bullet points. So you can all either tune out now, because it's all just going to be about the same. Uncontrolled social media in the workplace can be a drain on productivity. You don't want your employees playing games all day. And commentators over the years have said that Australians have wasted multiple billions of dollars on Facebook and MySpace. But just by blocking it is not going to stop it, because it's on mobile phones. It's at home, it's everywhere. If you're going to block it, you may as well take away the telephone, ban the water cooler, ban smoke breaks, ban employees having lunch together, ban all social interaction. Confidentiality is another big problem that I hear from clients who say, oh, but if I allow my users or employees to use Twitter, maybe they'll tweet something and it's confidential. I'd say you've got a bigger chance of somebody actually emailing confidential information or walking out of the building with it on a USB stick. I know, unfortunately, too many times HR administrators have emailed the full salary list to a company and then called the IT department, can I get that email deleted? A bit late. And so just by using Twitter, you're not going to have confidential information leave the building. Inappropriate content is another one, but we've already resolved inappropriate content. We saw this morning that social networking is overtaking pornography on the internet. It's the #1 traffic. And the way we found to get around inappropriate content in the workplace was through education, user education. Yes, some people ended up getting themselves sacked before we all figured it out. But they really need to be educated on what is appropriate. And it's interesting, last year there was a survey of use of social media in the workplace, and it was anonymous, and found only 1% of internet users admitted to using it inappropriately in the workplace. So that's a fairly good statistic, I'd say. Another one I've heard is social media can be used as a rallying point for hatred or race. We've seen that mainly in the media over the last few months around terrorism. Although these tools can be used, I don't know what I keep touching this. But another issue with using social media in the workplace is exclusion. So we're now all starting to join these online groups. And so imagine if, the guys in marketing who run their own little footy tipping competition go and create their own Facebook group, and it's only them that are invited. Through their actions, they're actually potentially excluding others in the workplace and making them feel excluded or harassed. And they may not even know that they're doing it, but that same issue exists today. It's just the technology is different.